Burn, mother.
Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. And this week, we're heading to our new standard format to throw some burn spells at our opponent's face. That's right, it is burn time. We're playing Budget Boros Burn in Crimson Vow Standard, driven by a couple of really huge, really sweet, super powerful new additions from Crimson Vow. So let's talk about our super budget-friendly burn deck. Jump into some games, see it in action. So here is our budget Boros burn deck for Crimson Vow Standard. As you can see, $102 in paper, 13 total rares and mythics on Magic Arena, and that's even deceptive because 8 of those are rare dual lands. If you already got the rare lands for Standard, this deck is pretty close to free, outside of one playset of a mythic that we'll talk about in a minute, to put together. So why are we playing burn now? Why in Crimson Vow Standard and not Midnight Hunt Standard or Standard before that? And the answer is there's 2 huge new Crimson Vow additions that I think make this deck possible. The first is Chandra to Kill, which is a really strong 3-mana planeswalker, but it basically has to be in a mono red deck to really work. Our deck, every single non-land card in our main deck is a red card, so it's perfect for Chandra. Plus, Chandra is great in a burn deck. Its first +1 offers damage, its second one draws us cards, which kind of means damage because we'll draw burn spells, and then if we get to Emblem, it's going to win us the game with the Emblem that offers a ridiculous amount of damage. So Chandra is reason number 1 we're playing the deck now. Reason number 2 is Kessig Flame Breather, which is just a random comment, but it might be the most important card in this deck. So the challenge with Standard Burn is our burn isn't all that efficient. If you go back to Modern, you get a bunch of 1 mana deal 3 damage spells. So you get a bunch of 2 mana deal 4 damage spells. So it's relatively easy to 20 your opponent with just your burn spells. Standard, we're paying, let's see, 3 mana to get 3 damage. Our 1 mana burn spells maybe deal 2 damage. Some of them cost 2 mana to deal 2 damage. All this to say, our burn isn't that efficient, which means it's not super easy to deal 20 damage with just burn spells. We need a way to power up our burn spells, and for this we turn to Thermal Alchemist, which essentially just adds a damage to our burn spells. Whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, we untap it, it taps to deal a damage. So now all of a sudden, our shocks are dealing 3 damage. They're turning into lightning bolts. Our, kind of overcosted 3 mana 3 damage spells are dealing 4 damage, which makes them much more playable. The problem with Thermal Alchemist is there's only 4 of them, and it's a card we want in our opening hand pretty much every game. It's that good and that important to the deck. Well, now, thanks to Kessig Flame Breather, which is essentially another Thermal Alchemist, whenever we cast a non-creature spell, it pings for 1, another way to add an extra damage to our burn spells. Now we have 8 of these effects, which means we're pretty much going to have one in our opening hand every game. Not literally every game, but the odds are pretty high that we'll have one in our opening hand. And our odds of getting 2 or 3 of them on the battlefield, which is where things get really insane. If we get 2 or 3 of these going, it's pretty easy to kind of just combo kill. Our 1 mana like shock style burn spells are hitting for like 5 damage. It's really easy just to chain together a few spells and win the game in one big turn. The odds of that happening goes up a ton now that we have 8 of them. So Kessig Flame Breather, the other big new addition to the deck. Otherwise, we got all the best burn that can go face in Standard. Play with Fire, Royal Eruption, Sacred Fire, Magic Missile, Igneous Inspiration, probably the weirdest card in the deck. It's not very efficient. 3 mana for 3 damage, but it's a learn card. And one of the things our deck really wants is just to chain together spells. We talked about Thermal Alchemist and Kessig Flame Breather in the context of adding damage to burn spell, but really they add damage to any spell. Any spell we cast is going to untap Thermal Alchemist or trigger our Kessig Flame Breather. So one of the more powerful things we can do is just chain together spells once we get our 2-drops on the battlefield. Unfortunately, Boros isn't a great color for chaining together cheap spells. It's not like blue where you get ops and considers and all these cheap cantrip spells. The best we have is learn cards, because remember, learn cards, Inspiration and Academic Dispute, which we're playing literally just is 1 mana learn. We don't really care about its text at all. It doesn't do anything in our deck. It's just 1 mana learn. Well, these cards can either rummage, we can discard a card and draw a card, which is pretty helpful, discard an extra land or a flashback spell and draw a new card, or we can grab a lesson card from our sideboard, and this is how we can chain together spells. We can Academic Dispute, that's 1 spell to trigger our 2-drops, and then we can grab like Introduction to Prophecy from our sideboard and cast that to trigger our 2-drops and draw another card and maybe find another spell that we can cast. So this is the closest thing we can get to those like chain together cantrip type games that blue decks have, but in our Boros colors. As far as our actual lessons, a bunch of removal, some card draw, some damage from start to scratch that can also get rid of Azeka's Chariot, and then we have some actual sideboard cards that mostly burn spells that don't go face, but deal a bigger amount of damage to creatures to deal with like mono green threats, which we can't really kill with our main deck. Our main deck's really good at sniping small creatures because our burn can also kill creatures if we needed to, but not as good at dealing with big creatures. So that's what the sideboard's for. Finally, our mana base, we even get some burn there with Spike Field Hazard, just a 1 mana, 1 damage burn spell, and then a bunch of dual lands, a bunch of mountains, and that is budget Boros Bird for Crimson Vow standard. That's our budget Magic deck for this week. So let's jump into some games, throw some bird spells at our opponent's face, see if these new additions can make a real, true, straight up bird deck work in standard. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with the wrap up. Do you need some new Innistrad Crimson Vow cards? Well, you can get them all from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, by heading over to cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish and even get a free MTG Goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they will hook you up. Budget Magic time. We are playing some new standard this week with Boros Burn. This hand, sounds fine. We got a Flame Breather and we got some Burn. We will keep. What are you up to, opponent? Ooh, blue-white, eh? Well, play the land, pass the turn. Opponent. Esper Control, apparently. Well, play the land, play a Flame Breather. Come on, Esper Control. Okay. After much deliberation, Vanishing Verse will take down the Flame Breather. Tap land. Well, play a land, play Chandra. Take it up, ping ya. Pass the turn. Deserted Beach. Passes. Well, play the land. Take up Chandra. Whiff. Pass the turn. I mean, opponent does have to deal with this Chandra before it ultimates. If it ultimates, is going to be hard for opponent to beat. About it. Shattered Sanctum. Oh, come on, Chandra. Hold. Hold. I mean, we will burn out the Hive of the Eye Tyrant if our opponent attacks with it. It's annoying not to be sending burn at our opponent's face, but necessary. Uh-oh. So our opponent setting up for some extra turn loopage. Well, actually, let's take up for damage. Flame Breather. Pass the turn. Well, let's see. Are we about to get extra turn looped? Okay, Behold the Multiverse. That's not an extra turn spell. It could find removal for Chandra, though. We did see Vanishing Verse. All right, one to the top. That's not great. Oh, we'd really love to ultimate this. Land. All right, opponent found the Vanishing Verse. Sure, passing. Well, I mean, we'll play with Fire Your Face. Get the Scry. Yeah, okay, another Chandra, sure. Untap, draw a Chandra. Play the Chandra. Ping you. Down to 14. Tick up Chandra, ping you. 13. Play with fire. Ping you. Scry. Down to 10. We don't have the white mana to the bottom. Pass the turn. 1, 2, 3. All right, I guess we can attack. Hit ya. Down to 9. I mean, we're super, super close to winning this game. It's really close. Memory Deluge should draw some cards. All right, it's really close. Because right now, this hits for 2, opponent goes to 7. This hits for 3, 4. If Chandra sticks and we can cast this and we just resolve our hand, that does just win us the game. About it, looking at their lands. Attacking Chandra is fine. The ultimating Chandra plan is, I think, off the table at this point. We're at the try to burn you out part of the game. Leer, okay, interesting. What is Leer going to do? It's the Chandra, well, Spike Field Hazard. Oh, I think this means we just need to draw land. Opponent goes to 7.
I know you can do better.
All right, land. Inspiration for 4. Oh, yes! Get whatever. A start from scratch, I guess. Royal Eruption, your face, and burn him out. That is how you try to burn him out. Burning out the control deck, and that was good. That was super good. Throwing the burn spells at the face, apparently good enough there. We don't really have much for this matchup, though. We're basically running it back and trying to do that again. It worked that time. Like, the Chandra pressured, made our opponent spend their removal on it, and then enough burn spells get there sooner or later, and that was pretty good. That was a pretty good burn game. Not bad, not bad. Just barely enough. That was a close one. Well, we know what our opponent's doing. They're trying to play the control game, except they probably don't have any counters because they're playing Leer. life gain would be a concern, but I don't know if do these decks even play life gain. If they do, that would be a problem. Chandra was good that game. Chandra was, boy, close to ultimating. Our opponent had to do some desperation digging to try to find an answer because if Chandra ultimates, it's basically just over. Well, we're on the draw for game 2. Burn versus Esper Control, and all right, Flame Breaker into Chandra, that seems fine. Land for our opponent, well, land for us. Opponent, planes, well, land and Flame Breather. Opponent has a Jawari Disruption, sure. Land for our opponent. The Celestis. Well, land and Chandra. And Pena. Pass the turn. Opponent. Another land. Celestis is annoying. That does let our opponent gain life. It's not a ton of life, but with burn, every point counts, especially standard burn. Opponent has a go blank. Well, we will get rid of 2 lands. I'll take up Chandra. Ingenious Inspiration. Get a, well, I guess, Introduction to Prophecy. Pass the turn. Land for our opponent. Leer. I'll play the land on white. So we gotta kill the Leer. Ugh. Sending damage at the Leer is painful here, but all right. Sacred Fire the Leer. Take up Chandra for mana. Academic Dispute. Get Introduction to Annihilation. Royal Eruption Leer. I mean, we're basically all in on ultimating this Chandra. That's where we're at the moment. Opponent fading hopes it. Okay, that's fine. Leer returns, sure. And passes. But we get to take up Chandra for mana. Introduction to Annihilation the Leer. All right, well, this is it. 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 Come on, no removal. No removal. We did all this work to ultimate Chandra. Is it going to happen? Opponent plays a land. Plays a Leer. Oh, okay, Chandra. Ultimate. This has got to win us this game. This has got to win us this game. All right, so what does this emblem do? When you cast a red spell, deals X damage to any target where X is the amount of mana spent to cast the spell. So Thermo Alchemist. Actually, if we play Chandra. All right, play another Chandra. Hit Leer for 3. Take up Chandra for mana. Play Royal Eruption. Hit Leer. We don't really want this go blank to come back from the graveyard if we can help it. I mean, this being flashback is 6 damage, which is insane. Plus the 2 it actually gives itself. That's 8 damage. 8 damage. Are you saving Leer again? I mean, if we lose with, okay, that doesn't do anything. Sure. If we lose with this Chandra emblem, I'm going to be very disappointed. Pass the turn. We got a Chandra. We got the emblem. This is what we envisioned. Ultimating the Chandra and using it to win the game. Opponent going to flip from day to night. Sure, sure, sure. Gains a life up to 11. I don't think it's going to matter, but we're going to see. Opponent. Well, play a land. Take up Chandra. Pena. Sacred Fire. Get it out of the graveyard while we can. Hit you for 8, which is insane. Because the Chandra emblem is damage equal amount of mana spent to cast it when you cast a red spell. And we're spending 6 mana with the flashback cost. About it out of 4 down to 2. Pass the turn. They can Memory Deluge, but how do they get out of this? How do they beat an emblem? How do you beat the emblem? Ooh, Hullbreaker Horror. I mean, that doesn't beat the emblem either, though. They can bounce spells, but that doesn't, I don't think this matters. Opponent's got one of the biggest bombs, biggest finishers in the format. Opponent plays a land, but I don't know how it matters. I don't think it does. I think we just got him. Duress. Are you going to bounce our Chandra? I mean, I guess they hope we just don't ever hit a red spell. All right, takes Magic Missile. Goes to combat. So they can stay alive if we don't draw a red spell here. Because they can gain a life with Celestis. I guess they're going to do that naturally. Actually, okay, so they got to flip it main phase to gain the life. While we're tapped out, go to 3. Now they're just hoping we don't draw a red spell, I think. We untap, we draw. It's a mountain. Main phase, Introduction to Prophecy. Looking for the red spell. Opponent's going to divide by 0. Okay, bounces it. I mean, are we gonna lose from here? If we lose from here, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be so sad. Gets a gain 2. Well, Introduction to Prophecy. Draw the Chandra. Leave the Inspiration on top. All right, pass the turn. I think that should be able to do it. We'll see. Opponent gains a couple life, up to 5. They can go up to 6. Oh, I still think we're gonna get there, hopefully. This Hullbreaker Horror is giving our opponent a shot, but we Ingenious Inspiration. Yeah, opponent gains a life. We Ingenious Inspiration. If they bounce it, we do it again, and that's 6 damage even without a resolving. And if it resolves, then we just have them straight up. Well, okay, boom, go face. Done. Oh! All right, we'll learn a lesson. Not that it matters, and that's how Chandra is insane against control. That was a Chandra win. That was a Chandra win for sure. That was good. That was real good. That is basically what we imagine happening with Chandra in this deck against control. Tick up, eventually ultimate. And then the ultimate did get us there through this Hullbreaker Horror, through this life gain, through our opponent drawing all these cards. That was a good one. That was a good one. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Budget Magic time. We are playing some new standard with some Boros Chandra burn, and kind of like this hand. Having 2 Thermo Alchemist Flame Breathers is potentially a lot of damage. Shambling Ghast. Well, Mountain. Oh boy, exiling that is tempting. Do we just exile it? You know what? This is awkward, but I think yes. Our opponent's probably trying to sack that to make treasures and whatnot, so just getting rid of it, I think offers a decent amount of value here. Our opponent was potentially, like, some of these decks lean pretty hard on it. Opponent plays a Swamp. On this synergy to, like, sack it, get a treasure, draw some cards, blah, blah, blah. I'll play him out in Flame Breather. Flame Breather triggers off Chandra, while Alchemist does not. Alchemist only instant and sorceries, but if we get the window, we would like to get Chandra down. Like, Chandra on an empty board is a pretty good place to be. Opponent, oh, they were really leaning on that treasure, weren't they? Well, I'm glad we killed it. Land, Chandra. Ping you. Chandra, ping you. Flamebreaker, hit you. Pass the turn. Okay, this is a good place to be. Whew, we might have won the game just by killing that Shambling Ghast. That might have been like literally game-winning line, which is insane, but we will take up Chandra for a card. We will play Thermo Alchemist. Spikefield Hazard you. Ping you, ping you. Play a land. Hit ya. Down to 14 past the turn. And opponent's gonna need something good. They're gonna need something good. They're running out of time. They find lane number 3. Sedgemoor Witch. Okay. Chandra. Wait, can we win here? This is gonna be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not quite. So in that case, we will ping with Thermo Alchemist. Take up Chandra for a card. Magic Missile. 2 to Sedgemoor Witch, 1 to our opponent. Untap. Pay the 3. Kill the witch. Land on white. Thermo Alchemist. Hit ya. Down to 10. Pass the turn. And yeah, I think we're good. I think we might be good. We're actually 1 land away from kicking this with Chandra mana, which is kind of sweet. Another witch. Sure. Well, Alchemist, ping ya. Untap. Ping ya. Ping ya. Inspiration. Untap everything. Get a start from scratch. Ping ya. Ping ya. Chandra ya. And yeah, that. Whew. Whew. That's a little bit of burn. That went super well. Well, Cinderclasm's in, and our opponent's playing mostly small creatures, which is kind of perfect, because if our opponent's playing mostly small creatures, that means all these cards that we're playing to burn our opponent's face can also take out our opponent's creatures. We'll go on a couple academic disputes, go up the 2 Cinderclasms, and run like that. Do it again. Oh, that went really well. I mean, our opponent didn't get off to the fastest start, but that was because we could snipe that Shambling Ghast. I think if we didn't snipe that, our opponent most likely would have sacked it for a treasure and like kind of went off. But the fact that we could snipe it really changed that entire game. Well, this looks a lot like our last hand, and that last hand worked well, so we will keep. And we will snipe the Shambling Ghast again if they play it on one. Opponent. Land, go. Well, land, go. Opponent. Faceless Haven. And passes. Well, play a land and, yeah, let's just Flame Breather. Chip the turn. Land for our opponent. Skullport Merchant. All right. Well, play a land. Play Chandra. Ping ya. Dig up Chandra. Ping ya. Pass the turn. Well, we'll see. We got the Chandra down, which is nice. Our opponent does have a creature this time that actually sticks on the battlefield. Eye Twitch, yeah. Are we sacking it? All right, sacks the Eye Twitch, sure. Looking for lands by the looks. All right, finds a land. And all right, sure. Question is, do we have to kill Skullport Merchant? Well, you know what? Let's take up Chandra for mana. Ping ya. Thermo Alchemist. Thermo Alchemist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think we got to play this as a land awkwardly. All right, pass the turn. Well, we're set up for a good turn next turn, hopefully. We would like to deal some damage before something like Blood on the Snow comes down. Okay, Lolth. Lolth is kind of fine. I mean, it does do things for our opponent, but wow, that's kind of great. So Chandra, ping down the Lolth. Wow, Chandra's actually kind of sweet. Then we can ping you. Ping you. Magic Missile. Ping, ping, ping. Untap everything. And then go to combat, attack you. Actually, you know, no attacks. I think we just gotta deal the damage when we can. Ping you. Royal Eruption your face, because I'm still worried about a Blood on the Snow. Untap everything. And pass the turn. We want to get our opponent as low as possible before they Blood on the Snow. That's what we're trying to play around, basically. Oh, Chandra lines up really well with Lolth, doesn't it? Me took Massacre. Well, that's in some ways worse than Blood on a Snow because it's going to gain our opponent life. Yeah. Awkward. I'll take up Chandra for a card. Flame Breather. Play a land. Inspiration. Get what? Discard any number of cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. There are 7 cards in your graveyard, make a 3/2. I mean, I guess we just take Introduction to Prophecy, pass the turn. So I assume our opponent's got to deal with the Chandra. Wow, can we close this out? Opponent plays a land. So I got to hit the Chandra so it doesn't ultimate, or they're going to be in serious trouble. Faceless Haven. Okay, eaten alive. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Goes attacking, no blocks. Down to 15. So this is 3, 4, 5. Oh, play Chandra. Ping ya. Take up Chandra. Ping ya. Magic Missile. Ping ya. Win ya. Oh, burning them out. And this deck's actually kind of working. That was really impressive. Our opponent had the life gain, they had the Meat Massacre, they had a Lolth, and still, we just throwing burn spells at opponents' faces. Seems to be a pretty good plan in some matchups. Sweet. Let's keep doing that. Budget Magic time. We are burning in Standard, playing some Boros Chandra burn, and see what our opponent's up to. So far, so good for this deck. Yeah, we're on the draw. This is fine. Worst case, play with fire to scry. We can just send it to our opponent's face to scry if we have to. Oh, green. This will be interesting about it. Tangled Flora Heater. Do we need to kill this, or are we just full on face mode? Yeah, I think we gotta kill the Flora Heater and play the land past the turn. Well, this is a big turn to see how far behind we are when the Chandra wants to come down. Quite a bit. Now, let's Academic Dispute. Get a, I guess maybe Start from Scratch. Yeah, let's take Start from Scratch. And Academic Dispute. Get a Introduction to Prophecy. Untap. Land. Royal Eruption, the Mammoth. The downside of Chandra is against these big creature decks, it can be tough to get it on the battlefield without getting instantly murdered. There's the Chariot. Just so many big threats. Well, we will start from scratch. The bad news is we have not been able to throw any burn at our opponent's face. Not a single point. Our opponent's at 20. Needleford Pathway, go. Yeah, this is a matchup where we might even almost just sideboard out Chandra. Oh, dear me. Dear me, dear me. Opponent, Azika's Chariot number 2 goes to combat. Uh-oh. Well, perhaps we have met our match. Land, Flame Breather. Actually, do we even keep showing our opponent cards, or do we just go to game 2? There's no way. Opponent's at 20. Yeah, we're gonna go to game 2. I don't think we keep showing our opponent stuff. We shouldn't have actually even played that Flame Breather. We're like, there's just no way we beat that. But we can bring in 3 Burning Hands. I mean, we do have a plan for these big creatures. Burning Hands gets to come in. Maybe Thundering Rebukes. And maybe even Cinderclasms. Going down, I think Chandra, at least for the most part. And then Academic Disputes. Yeah, this is Chandra's worst matchup. Green has so many big things, and it's just very difficult to play Chandra and have it not get immediately killed on the backswing. So I could see leaving a copy or 2, but this is a really, really not good Chandra matchup. All right, well, we will see. We got a bunch of burn. Don't have any creatures to benefit from the burn. This definitely doesn't add up to 20. Not yet, but we'll see, we'll see. Yeah, this is probably the matchup I'm most scared of. We've done well against a lot of decks, but mono green, traditionally red, bad at killing big creatures, and traditionally green, full of big creatures. Mash those 2 things together and tough burn matchup. But we'll see. So we have 2, 4, 7, kind of 9. I feel like this is a matchup where we really want to draw a Thermo Alchemist or a Flame Breather or whatever, whatever the other one is. The bad Thermo Alchemist. Almost, mostly bad Thermo Alchemist. Lango. Opponent. Forest. Jaspera Sentinel. Well, land on red. Go. Opponent. Goes to combat, attacks, hits us. Sure. Down to 19. Yeah, let's see what we draw. Royal Eruption. Well, play the Sundown Pass. Pass the turn. Probably gonna scry with this Play with Fire. Start dealing some damages. Land for our opponent. Old Growth Troll. That's a big one. Opponent goes combat. Going to hit us. Well, all right. Burn your face. Spikefield Hazard to the bottom. Down to 18. Land on red. Well, Thundering Rebuke the Troll. 18 is still so much. We really need a Thermo Alchemist to be giving an extra point of damage to all these burn spells, I think, to get our opponent to 0 before the Azika's Chariots and big things. Toski, okay. Well, opponent's gonna draw a lot of cards. I mean, I don't even think we can try to fight this. I think we just have to. We just gotta keep going face. We just gotta keep going face and hope for the best. Mountain to the bottom. Opponent's down to 16. Opponent draws a card. Well, we will Royal Eruption you. Down to 13. Pass the turn. 13. 11. 10, 9, 8. 7, 6, 5. So we need at least 2 more burn spells. Probably 2 more burn spells. Maybe 3, depending on the burn spells. Okay, Azika's Chariot. That's not great. Ooh, yeah. Opponent goes to combat. Gonna attack at us. Well, Sacred Fire your face. Down to 11. Oh, we're trying. We're giving it our best shot. I think if we had a Thermo Alchemist, I think that might have given us enough damage. Opponent passes. Spikefield Hazard. Well, Magic Missile your face. Down to 8. So close. We're gonna end up about a Thermo Alchemist short. We can get our opponent to 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, so close. Wow, they don't even turn it on. They just hit us and draw a ton of cards. The problem is we're dead on board next turn. Wow, if we draw another Royal Eruption, we're gonna end up exactly 1 point of damage short. So close. So we can Spikefield Hazard to 7, 6, 5, 4. There's a Gnarled Professor. Ooh, this can get life gain. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Gnarled Professor, eh? Oh, gets mad. Oh, sure. I mean, none of this actually matters. Opponent goes down to 7. Oh, we're gonna end up so close. Well, this is actually, I mean, on one hand, it shows one of the deck's bad matchups, which it's good to see the matchups where a budget deck is bad as well. On the other hand, it also shows how important 5. Yeah, we're just super dead. It also shows how important the creatures are to this deck. We don't have many creatures, but they really, really do matter. If you look at all these burn spells that we've cast, if these were all +1 damage, easily, we actually would have pretty easily won this game. So, hi. Yeah, mono green, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. We got to plan for it, but even then, we really got to get the Thermal Alchemist going to have a realistic shot. Every deck has some bad matchups in it. I think mono green is the one for Boros burn. Oh, those creatures, so big. So big. Budget magic time. We are burning. Burning faces in standard, and I mean, we got burn. We got a Thermal Alchemist. I think we keep this. This is not a lethal amount of burn, but it is a lot. Eye twitch. Ooh. Oh. All right, this makes it easier. In that case, we're just going to answer the eye twitch. Spikefield Hazard actually pretty good against these little black things that have death triggers. Eye twitch. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. I really want to just kill it. You know what? Yeah, kill it. Go MDFC power. I'm worried about our opponent sacking and getting a treasure. I feel like if we keep the bodies off the battlefield, it's going to make our opponent's life a lot more challenging. And now hopefully we can start going face with the Alchemist out. Opponent passes. Well, play a land. Ping ya. Inspiration. Burn ya. Untap it. Get a Introduction to Prophecy. Pass the turn. Opponent's out of 60. And all right, finds a land. Sure. Aw. Infernal Grasp. Well, ping ya. Play with fire. Oh, now we got to do math. Opponent's at 13. They're going to 12. 9. 8, 7. 6, 5. You know what? Maybe we just keep it. It is burn. Sure. Keep Royal Eruption. Oh, wait, I forgot. And they take 2 from Infernal Grasp. Well, Introduction to Prophecy. Yeah, draw the land, keep the Magic Missile. Sacred Fire your face. Down to 8. About it. Ah, blue-black, Jadar. Sure. Well, 3, 4, 5. Let's Magic Missile. Ping Jadar and hit our opponent for 2. And then Royal Eruption. Burn you down to 3. Oh, we're super close. We're super close. Opponent finds an island. They're hitting their lands now. Is it too late? Opponent passes. Well, we'll pass the turn. I mean, if we can resolve these play with fires, we win. So we're kind of just waiting for our opponent to tap down, really. Opponent taps. Yeah, we'll cast 1 end step and see what happens. Play with fire you. Prized Amalgam. All right, well, play with fire you. So land or burn spell wins the game. That is neither. Okay. One of the few cards in our deck that does not technically win the game at the moment. Opponent sacks the Decay Zombie. Down to 1. Untap land or burn. Okay, there's untap land. That works. Woo! Sacred Fire to close it out, and that went pretty well. This might be a good matchup for us. This might be a good matchup because we have so many burn spells in our main deck that are just naturally good at killing zombies. All right, bring in the 2 Cinderclasms, go down the 2 random bad looting lesson things, and run it like that. Try to do that again. Those Spikefield Hazards were so good. Being able to snipe those Death Trigger 1-drops is kind of huge, and yeah, really, really, really good. Show us what you got. I mean, I am nervous about zombies. I think zombies can get some pretty powerful draws. I mean, we played Necroduality zombies on against odds last weekend. Boy, that deck can go off. It can go off. One of my favorite decks, maybe my favorite deck that we played in New Standard so far. So definitely have a healthy fear of zombies. You know what? I guess this is fine. It's not an exciting hand by any means, but the flood does mean we get to flash back our... Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Wow. Concealing Curtain, eh? And a Jadar, sure. Oh, I think we punted. We definitely punted. We should have definitely played this tap land. Oh, didn't think that through all the way. Yeah, we might get punished for that punt. That was a meaningful punt. Like, in general, you want to play these untapped, but in this case, with these Boros cards, definitely would have been better to play them, play the white source, get it down. All right, opponent hits us. Yeah, the zombie decays. Well, we'll see how punished we get for that. About it. Shambling Ghast. Decay Zombie. Well, play a land. Seal of Fire Jadar. Academic dispute. Do we want Introduction to Prophecy or just to loot away a land? You know what, let's take Illuminate History. That actually seems kind of sweet here. We got a lot of stuff we would not mind discarding. Opponent plays a land. That makes things worse. Duresses our Illuminate History. Sure, hits us. Zombie, decays. Well, come on, actual threats. Opponent's at a high life total at the moment. All right, there's a deadly dispute. That's why killing those things is so valuable. Gets a treasure, draw some cards. Jadar returns. Makes a dork. Oh, I don't really want this to keep going off. It only has, what, 3 damage? What happens if we play Chandra? Oh, they can flip this. Yeah, we're actually in pretty bad shape here, I think. Well, yeah, I guess we just got to kill the Jadar. Ugh. Awkward, awkward. Opponent untaps. Are we flipping the curtain? Yeah. Opponent flips. Makes us discard Chandra. We get Spike, Field Hazard. Plays a tap land. Goes attacking. Yeah, we've had to spend so much burn on creatures that this is not how we want this to go. That Duress got us good. I'll play the land. Thermo Alchemist. Inspiration. Get a Introduction to Prophecy. Pass the turn. I wonder how much of this goes back to playing that wrong land on turn 1. Is that what allowed this to snowball out of control? Opponent, Shambling Ghast, sacks and make treasures, draws cards, and Duress to take, I assume, the Introduction to Prophecy. Oh, opponent's still at 14. That's a lot of life. That's a lot of life. Land. Yeah, opponent's just got to draw a ton of cards this game. Hits us down to 10. Now play Flame Breather. Play the land, pass the turn. Well, we'll see. Opponent untaps. I mean, this went really badly, and we're not that far out of it. Opponent. Ugh, yeah. The games where the opponent draws all their deadly disputes are tough. That's just so much card draw. Malevolent Hermit. Sure. And a tap land. Opponent goes to combat. Gets in. Well, no blocks. There's an eye twitch. Ping ya. Spike Field Hazard the Hermit. Untap. Ping ya. Opponent sacks. That's fine. Nope. Well, ping ya. Untap. Ping ya. Sacred Fire. Ping ya. Untap. Oh, this is gonna be close. Opponent's down to 7. Go attacking. I mean, we're kind of hoping our opponent blocks and tutors up like Mascot Exhibition or something. We're not dead. I mean, we still actually oddly have a chance here. Crazily enough, opponent blocks, Eye Twitch dies. All right. So opponent gets a lesson. We'll see. So I think what our opponent's going to do is try to fire up this Hive of the Eye Tyrant to eat this Sacred Fire. But this Ingeous Inspiration, there's a Mascot Exhibition. That's what we wanted. I mean, we're hoping our opponent slams that, and if they do, we win. Opponent combat hits us. Sure. Down to 6. There it is. That's game. That's game. That's game. Woo, boy. This game didn't even go that well, and we still got there super easily. Ping ya. Magic Missile. Now we don't even need the lesson. Hit you for 3. Ping ya, untap. And ping ya. Oh, maybe burn is good. Maybe burn is good. That game we punted by playing the wrong land on turn 1. Our opponent had a pretty good draw. We had a 6-lander and we still got there. And I wouldn't say easily, but we still managed to get there. So maybe burn is busted. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Budget Magic time. We are burning in Standard, playing some Boros Chandra burning. We got Chandras for days. Unfortunately, we don't have any 1 or 2 mana burn spells. I.e. cheap burn. All right, that works. Sacred Fire, kill the Sentinel. Go. Opponent. Pathway. Prosperous Innkeeper. Well, play a land, play a Chandra. Ping ya. we're not super far behind when we get this Chandra down. Opponent only has an Innkeeper, which is a little annoying because the life gain is annoying, but ooh, Jund? Oh, please not Azeka's Chariot. Azeka's Chariot would be so bad. Gains our opponent a bunch of life, and it puts big bodies on the battlefield. All right, another Innkeeper. That's kind of okay, I think. And a Ranger class. All right. Yeah, this life gain is adding up about it. It's a Chandra. Down to 3. Throwing burn at creatures is painful. So many 3-drops. So many 3-drops. So, play a land. I think we take up Chandra for a card in case we hit a 1-mana burn spell. All right, it's a land. Well, magic missile. Kill some stuff. Unfortunately, though, our opponent's at 22 against our burn deck. That is not where we want to be. Opponent. Immersed Predator. Huh. Is that possible to kill?
You want to dance?
Now let's Spike Field. Oh, our burn is sorcery speed too. So we just can't deal with this Predator? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Chandra, take up for a card. Royal Eruption. Royal Eruption, our opponent. Spike Field Hazard, the Innkeeper. Ooh, yeah. Opponent can sack it, sure. Huh. Yeah, opponent's it. Yeah, this. I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know how this is gonna work, honestly. Opponent's got an Immersed Predator and this Ranger class. We're down to 3 cards in hand, and more importantly, our opponent drew 2 Innkeepers, so they're at 20. I don't think we can 20 our opponent here. Lair the Hydra, opponent. Goes attacking. Goes attacking. Yeah. Kills Chandra. Hits us.
When I was having a good time.
We can't kill the Predator. Yeah, game 2, on to game 2. We're just, we can't win from here. Opponent's at 2, I have a life total. That's one of the downsides of burn is, the opponent gets if the opponent can gain a bunch of life and stay at that high life total, it gets really tricky. There are good sideboard cards, like Roiling Vortex. Unfortunately, trying to stick to the budget, it gets a little more challenging. Go down a couple academic disputes. I mean, I guess we can go down all of them and go like 2 Thundering Rebukes. Well, maybe 3 Thundering Rebukes and a Cinderclasm. Let's try it like that. A little bit bigger burn. Can't go face, but hopefully can deal with bigger creatures. Yeah, that was rough. Prosperous Innkeeper. X2, just so much of a life gain buffer for our opponent. All right, well, we're on the play, which is good. Now we'll keep this. I think the bigger issue, we're not doing a good job of finding our creatures. With 8 Thermo Alchemist effects in our deck, odds are pretty heavily in favor of having one. I don't think we can like mulligan aggressively to find one, but those really are the cards that make the deck work. It's hard to deal 20 points of burn damage without having any of the creatures, and yeah, we're gonna go bottom. We want to find one of the creatures. In standard, it is tough because our burn is just not quite as powerful. So we really want a Thermo Alchemist effect. Opponent plays a land. Magda. So opponent can get a treasure. Although the Cinderclasm's pretty good. Innkeeper. Well, all right. Well, the Cinderclasm's gonna help at least. Opponent passes. Land. Cinderclasm. I think we just do it now so they don't get a treasure. All right, kick it, sweep the board. The board is swept for the time being. Opponent. A pathway. Florian. Well, yeah, kill the Florian. Introduction to Annihilation. Play the land. So this is an answer to Immersed Predator, which is nice. I mean, on an empty board, we got a lot of ways to answer Immersed Predator. Ooh, all right, well, this is our window. Our window to get Chandra down. Ping ya. Pass the turn. Well, Chandra's on an empty board. That's where we want Chandra to be. Opponent. Magda. Okay, we can deal with that. Chandra tick up for a card. It's a land. I'll play the land. Magic Missile. Kill Magda, hit ya. Wow, this is going a lot better than last game. I mean, if we can ultimate this Chandra, then we should have it. Opponent passes. Take up Chandra for a card. It's a land. pass the turn. Are we gonna get to ultimate Chandra? Trying to hold on to spells because once we ultimate Chandra, they get way better. I'll take up Chandra for a card. Oh my god. All right, these Chandra cards have not went exactly the way we wanted. Yeah, pass the turn. All right, this is it. Can you find an answer? If we get this emblem, it is over. There's no way our opponent's gonna win if we get this emblem. Opponent looking at Chandra, reading the emblem, I assume. Like, it essentially just doubles the damage of all of our burn spells and draws us some cards. Okay, Shatter Skull Smashing. Opponent remains alive. Well, take up Chandra for a card. Sacred Fire your face. Inspiration. Well, now we're casting spells. The Chandra plan is apparently not going to work for now. Grab a Introduction to Prophecy. Play the land. Opponent down to 10. About it. Innkeeper, sure. I mean, we got that covered. And a Predator. All right. Well, opponent passes. All right, ping you with Chandra. Introduction to Annihilation. Get rid of the Predator. Royal Eruption. Going face. Well, opponent might be able to gain back a little life here. We'll see. Azeka's Chariot's probably the worst still. Magda, yeah, gains a life. About it. Gets in. Okay, I think we're fine. We draw land, play the land, take up Chandra. Ping ya. So we still can't quite win this turn. So I think we Magic Missile, ping, ping, ping. Whatever. Magic Missile's actually pretty good in a lot of matchups. Opponent goes to 6. Magic Missile. Opponent goes to 3. Okay, go blank would be bad. Otherwise, all right, another Innkeeper. Otherwise, I think we should have it. Opponent passes. We finally find the Thermo Alchemist. Well, ping you with Chandra. There's no crazy instant speed life gain, right? Flash creature. Opponent goes to 2. Magic Missile you. Yeah, I mean, I guess we get the Innkeeper for 1 just in case. 2 to our opponent. Kill the Innkeeper. And we got there? All right. Well, we found a recipe to actually win somehow. So it's all about keeping that Immerstorm Predator off the battlefield, apparently. That seems to be the key. Can we stop the Predator? Our lessons do help with that. That's our easiest way to stop it. The Cinderclasm was actually pretty good. Maybe we want the second Cinderclasm and go down one more Thundering Rebuke. Like, what is Thundering Rebuke trying to kill? Immerstorm Predator. It's not especially good at it. Maybe there's an argument just keeping the Academic Dispute to try to get our lessons, which can exile it. You know what? Let's try that. We'll keep one more Academic Dispute. So we have 5 ways to get our exile stuff from the sideboard. Well, this is it. Opponent's on the play. Oh, come on, deck. Let's burn them out. Well, we got a creature this time, which is nice. 2 creatures. That's doubly nice. Well, land go. Well, we'll see. Opponent. They can't be playing much creature removal, I would say. Magda. I'll play the land. They're going to get 1 turn with the Magda, I guess. Play the Flamebreaker, although it would be a chump attack at the moment. Black mana goes attacking. Interesting. Well, they must really want to be getting down a 4-drop. Wow. Okay, Soul Shatter. That was a surprise. Well, land on white. Magic Missile. Magda in your face. Huh. So opponent had not seen a creature all game. But apparently, they were worried enough about Chandra that they kept in Soul Shatter and ended up working out from there. Opponent land. Innkeeper. Okay. We would not mind drawing a land here. Innkeeper. Okay. Land, please? Play with fire. Well, we will play a Flamebreaker. Pass the turn. Okay, it's gonna depend on what the big things are in our opponent's hand. Opponent taps. We really don't want to just burn an Innkeeper if we can help it, but we might have to. All right, opponent's got more removal. Definitely worried about this Lair of the Hydra. So, well, I guess we gotta play with fire our opponent's face. Scry. Hit ya. Well, there's a Cinderclasm. That is good. Not a land, though. Opponent goes attacking. Well, all right, Thermo Alchemist. Opponents incidentally had a ton of removal for our creatures, which is super annoying. Opponent taps. Land. I mean, this Lair of the Hydra is the real issue. Go blank. Opponent's out of cards. I mean, I think it's just the Chandras, unfortunately. The Chandras died to Lair of the Hydra anyway. Well, we'll see. Opponent's at 16. We finally stuck a creature. Opponent's out of cards. But there is going to be a big Lair of the Hydra. Opponent. Wow, sacks all the treasures. All right, getting in the damage while they can. Goes attacking. Well, we will block. We take 5. We draw a land. We play the land. We pass the turn. Goes attacking. Okay, we're just going to block for now. We could Cinderclasm now, but I don't think we have to. Down to 10. Magda. Well, that's upside awaiting. So opponent gains 2, which is annoying. But we get to Thermo Alchemist. Cinderclasm. Not kicked. Kill your board. Thermo Alchemist. Well, we'll see. Can we find a way to beat this big Lair of the Hydra? Spike Field Hazard. Well, we will pass the turn. Opponent. Oh my god, what a draw. Okay, that. Oh, we were so close. Well, ping ya. Sacred Fire ya. Untap. Ping ya. Opponent makes a treasure, hits us for a bunch. Yeah, that is what we needed not to have happen. Oh, inspiration. Well, I guess we do this first. Ping ya. Inspiration. Untap. Wow, we're gonna end up just short. Just. Wow, so close. The problem is we're gonna have to chump block here. Introduction to Prophecy. Yeah, we're gonna have to chump block, and that's gonna leave us just short. Wow, this was so close. Oh my goodness. Oh, that makes me a little bit salty. If our opponent had run average, I think we win this game. Unfortunately, right when we stabilized, our opponent top decked 2 gold spans in a row. Yeah, I think if our opponent just drew random things that were not the best card in their deck, I think we win, because our opponent's at 5. We untap 4/3. If we hit a burn spell, we just win. Wow. That's magic. That's why you play the games. Unfortunately, it goes down as a loss, but good golly. Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? I mean, I feel like our deck was definitely in that game, and we overcame, like, our opponent somehow having a ton of removal to kill our creatures, which was kind of weird, but they just accidentally had it for other reasons. They had double Innkeeper to game light. They had double Magda. They had the creature land. Like, wow, we stabilized through all that, only for our opponent to have double Goldspan off the top of their deck for Xaxes. Like, if we got to untap here, there's some chance that we win the game this turn, and we definitely win in 2 turns. Magic gods, come on now. Well, still a good performance for the deck, even though a disappointing ending of that match. So what did we learn this week about budget Boros Bird in Innistrad Crimson Vow Standard? And overall, we went 3-2, although, oh my goodness, those Goldspan Dragons, we were so close to going 4-1. We finally like stabilized, and we need like another turn or 2 to close out the game, and our opponent empty-handed double Goldspan Dragon 2 turns in a row off the top to steal the win. So we came really close to winning another one. Although really, we got to see, I think, the good matchups and the bad matchups for the deck. The deck is, I think, pretty good against control. We got to see the ultimate Chandra control win. I think it's pretty good against decks with smaller creatures. Where it struggles the most is like mono green. Mono green, oh my goodness, that's a really tough matchup. We got some good sideboard cards for it, but really, decks that can just slam these big undercosted creatures, those are going to be a problem, because we're just not all that good at dealing with, 4/4s and 5/5s and 10/10s. Like, big creatures are a problem for the deck, but we got to see it be really good against small creature decks, sacrifice decks, zombie style decks, and against the control decks, a little worse against the mid-rangey big creature decks. But I think overall, the deck felt pretty competitive. It's really fun to play. If you like playing burn decks, this does feel kind of like a modern burn deck. The lesson package, I think, is a really big addition. Our new cards are really, really key. We got to see our Thermo Alchemist and Flame Breathers go off. We got to see Chandra actually ultimate and win a game with the ultimate, and otherwise be like pretty good in a lot of matchups. Again, not as good against like mono green, where it just gets run over, but still, I feel like the deck worked really well, and there's some upgrade potential. I think the biggest plan as far as upgrading is just using more rare white cards in the sideboard that can help deal with big creatures. Like, we can't play Fateful Absence or something like that that can just snipe any creature on the battlefield, and that would be a great way to deal with some of the things that were troubling us. Big green creatures, for example, the huge Immerstrom Predator gave us trouble one game. Having an instant speed way to just get rid of anything would be a really, really huge new addition. So I think there are some upgrades around the edges. Also, the mana base, you can play like Shatter Skull Smashing would be a nice addition to the deck. But overall, I think this deck's pretty sweet. So if you like burn decks, if you want to build a pretty competitive standard deck, at least in most matchups, it doesn't cost a ridiculous amount of money. I think this is a pretty sweet option for our new standard format. So that's been Boros Bird. That's our budget magic for this week. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And